And settle in, this is the Morning Tailgate on Raider Nation Radio 920, the flagship for the silver and black. Vince Sapienza, Vinny Bonsignore, and Clay Baker coming to you live from Las Vegas here on a Friday, August 14th, 2026. We're just hours removed from the Raiders opening up their preseason schedule, ending up on the wrong side of the scoreboard, but score aside. We saw some good, we saw some bad, and we saw a whole lot of areas that need to improve. We talked about yesterday how it's the most important day of the year for the Silver and Black. And it was. Massive information, evaluations, growth took place last night at Allegiant Stadium, despite the Raiders falling 27-14 to the Arizona Cardinals. But it's a film day for the team, taking steps forward as they get set now to travel to Houston next week and continue the process that is building this thing from the ground up. So welcome in, everybody. 702-365-9200. Like we had on Thursday, I expect Raider Nation up today because you got to see what you were hoping for. Fernando take the field. Fernando look like a guy who can handle the moment, find his way to the end zone, lead a scoring drive. Had another opportunity for another one, but kicking game failed him. So basically what we're going to be talking about today is your reactions from Thursday night at Allegiant Stadium. How would you grade Fernando Mendoza's performance? Whose stock is up? Whose stock do you think is down? What are you worried about moving forward? 702-365-9200. Vinny, good morning. Reactions from the preseason opener.
Good morning, guys. I don't necessarily think anybody's stock is down. I'll say that. I think there were some learning experiences for some young defensive backs, which is to be expected, especially for certain players that haven't played in a long time, and I'm sure we'll get to that. Felt really good about where the run game was. Ashton Genty averaging over 4 yards per carry. I know it was a light day of work, but you could see that the offensive line and that he, I think, is headed in the right direction. Mike Washington, obviously, popping a long one. He's kind of a home run hitter type back, and I think we obviously got a glimpse of that. I was really impressed by Fernando Mendoza. Not surprised whatsoever, as we've been talking about. He's a player that I believe is built for this, is built for these types of moments. And, it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he showed a lot of decisiveness. We said yesterday, hey, can you go out there and make it look easy? I thought, relatively speaking, he did exactly that. He looked comfortable. He looked in command. He took some chances down the field. He stuck a couple of balls in there with his arm strength. Nice throw on the touchdown pass. I thought that he had a chance on that third down play, throw to the end zone. Looked like it was closer than maybe people might think, and then obviously, like you said, the kicker let him down, or else he would have had 10 points to his credit. So defense needs a lot of help. Obviously, you need Max Crosby out there. It was a vanilla type of a game plan. Didn't like the penalties whatsoever. That needs to get cleaned up. But overall, I would say that despite the score, and we said yesterday the score was pretty meaningless, I felt like the Raiders played reasonably well. Didn't like what they did on third down defensively. You can't keep doing that. And there was a big penalty on a third down that extended that touchdown drive, opening touchdown drive for the Cardinals. So all in all, I thought it was a good, positive night for the Raiders. Some negatives that need to be cleaned up, but by and large, some of the young players look really good, including that guy who wears number 15, who, if anyone thinks, like I said yesterday, that this thing's miles and miles away or apart between he and Kirk Cousins, I don't see that way whatsoever. And I think we got a glimpse of that last night, or a lot of people got a glimpse of that last night about how ahead of things Fernando Mendoza truly is.
And maybe just to back up on what you were saying about the defense. Yeah, the defense, it was something to be desired. It wasn't very, exotic or dialed up, but they really allowed a lot of soft passes, a lot of easy work for Minshew and Brissett, who were perfect at the half, 15 for 15. And it was just like 7 and 8 yards here and there, nothing really fancy, but they were eating the secondary up, and it was just a little at a time. So little stuff like that I think can actually be good, because the tape will show how this defense really needs to start reacting a little quicker. And Jermod McCoy in the end zone one-on-one a couple times did not look the way we were expecting it to look. And I think that's something that maybe this is a good learning portion where they can go and take a look at, like, all right, we need to make a few adjustments here and on our plan and how in our pursuit, and especially maybe playing a little more aggressively as in the secondary. I think for our young guys in the DB room, this was a good game for them to learn from.
Yeah, and I kind of felt, Vince, get your thoughts on this. I felt like Jermod was there. It was just a couple of technical issues, which, I mean, like we've been saying, and this is not trying to sweep anything under the rug, but he hasn't played a competitive football game since, January. Yeah, you're the better math guy than I am, but it's been a long time. And so those types of things, that rust stuff, especially with the techniques and fundamentals, timing, those types of things, that's going to come, and that's what the training camp is for, and that's what practice is for. But I thought he was in the right place. It's just now kind of shaking off the rust on some of the technical issues, and I think he's got a really bright future, so I'm not worried at all.
Yeah, with Jermod McCoy on those two plays in particular, the first one, it felt like he wasn't as sticky as the second one. If we're we're really going to probably break this down more than we need to, but looking at what we have and the information that we have, he was more sticky on the second one. But the end result was what it was because he lost the hand fighting battle, and that's literally technique. And as probably learning for the first time a different kind of strength from receivers in the NFL and receivers in college. Also, again, to your point, 20 months removed from feeling that at that kind of competitive level is different. That being said, I'll be the first one I put on the on X after the first one. I go, he's going to want that one back, and then he gets the opportunity to get it back, and it's the same result. So it's no doubt going to be a learning moment. Thank you. It's no doubt going to be a learning moment for him. You could see the body language was not great. He's super disappointed, obviously very competitive. He talked about how emotional the moment was going to be, being able to play in a game like this and wanting, as I keep saying, meet that moment. And I'm not saying that he didn't meet the moment because he was out there. That in itself is a hell of a feather in the cap for him. But in terms of the execution, it wasn't there. It's a learning moment. Do I think he'll get better from that? I damn sure hope so, right? And there's no reason to believe that he won't because of it. Like, again, he did everything but those final moments. Can we close the gap on those final moments? I'm going to lean, yes, he can.
Yeah, and I think what we're basically saying is that, or at least how I felt, was he just needed to get the first one out of the way. And there was a lot to like, except, as you said, just making the final play, closing it out. And sometimes that's, those finer points are sometimes, the toughest to close. But I would fully expect that, as he moves forward, those are the type of plays that he's going to eventually make. I just think it was really important for him to, like I said, get this one out of the way, get out there, get the juices flowing again, feel what it's like to have to look up at the scoreboard and see actual results for what you do or what you don't do, all of which I think was a positive step for him. And those are things I've seen him make those plays, so I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried about the level jump or anything like that. He's going to be just fine. It's just really a matter of him being able to be out there and continuing to shake off that rust. And last night was a big step in that direction.
Couple more points on the defensive side, because obviously it was not a good look for the defense as a whole. It just simply wasn't. The Cardinals scored on their first 5 possessions. And again, it's preseason. You're getting ones out there very briefly. 2s were out there for a good spell, and then the rest are what they are. Still not a good look. The Cardinals quarterbacks went 15 for 15 in the first half. That is, you can't have that. At some point, I don't care what kind of vanilla defense you're playing. There wasn't a lot of pressure from the defensive line at any point. And there was a ton of missed tackles specifically from that second unit. Even more specifically, the rookie defenders, the guys that we've been talking about all camp. There was some rough moments in terms of missed tackles. Key Crawford flashed in a great way in terms of his burst, in terms of acceleration. But I counted 3 or 4 times that he overshot his destination point. And as a result, missed the tackle, was out of place, and it led to, positive gain for Arizona. So, if you're Rob Leonard, you're sitting there saying, I don't think you're like pulling your hair out, so to speak, but there is a lot of teaching that has to be done. Not coaching. There's a lot of teaching that has to be done. And I look at a guy like Key Crawford, for example, and I'm not trying to pick on him because I was thoroughly impressed with his ability to not only get off but shed tackles. He just was, again, missing his mark on where to go, because there was many times he blew through the line but found himself on the wrong side of the ball carrier or had a bad angle on the quarterback that should have been a highlight reel type sack, right? On the rollout. I think Gardner was still in the game at that point. Might have been Slovis. But so Traden Stukes had a couple missed tackles, right? So now I say all that. I think as much as we talked about Zeke Masses and Jermon McCoy, right? Like it was a learning moment. Darian Porter, Vinny, well, you look at that opening drive, and I thought Darren Porter was coming up with the INT in the end zone. He must have just clipped his fingernails, because that thing, he missed the ball by half a centimeter. That's the NFL, though. Those are the windows that you have to close down on. So, almost isn't going to get it done. But a half a centimeter more, Darren Porter makes that play, and we're celebrating. Damn, what a preseason game from the second-year corner.
Yeah, and as I'm watching last night, it kind of it felt apparent to me. Again, not making any excuses or anything like that, but the Cardinals did play a game already, and it felt like they were a team that had been there, done this in the preseason. Whereas think about the guys that we're talking about right now, who whether Darian Porter obviously in his second year, but Key Crawford and Jermod and Mathis and Traden Stukes. These guys, this is their first game, literally their first NFL game. You can only imagine, and I think in Key's case, this was extremely apparent, and maybe a couple of the other guys as well. When you miss tackles, sometimes it's just because you're rushing and you're not overthinking it, but so anxious because you want to make the play, and especially when you're a young player trying to make your mark, sometimes you can get a little ahead of yourself. And I felt like the young Raider players were guilty of that. And that's not a bad thing to be guilty of. It's kind of understandable, actually, that you want to do so well and you're so amped up that you get outside of yourself just a little bit. So I think the teaching moment for Rob and the positional coaches is just, hey, you know what you're supposed to be doing. In many cases, you're in position, but you were just a little bit too anxious, and you got out of your fundamentals and your technique as a result of that. And at this level, when you miss, even by, like you said, a centimeter on your fundamentals, that's the difference, right? Between making the play and not making the play, and the other team making the play or not making the play. So those are all like if they weren't if there were blown coverages, if McCoy was just flat out got beat and his head was spinning and he's looking around going, where was I supposed to be on that play? I'd be way more worried than I am now. I'm not even really worried at all here. But he was there. It was just, and so was Darian Porter. It's just a matter of slowing down a little bit, trusting your fundamentals, and making the play the next time you get that opportunity. So yes, it wasn't good. You can't give up 5 straight scoring drives and a whole bunch of completions. The penalties that they committed, the one on third down to extend the drive. You just can't have that. But hey, get it out of your system in the first preseason game, and hope for a better performance, a cleaner performance, especially defensively, the next time out. I thought offensively they looked pretty good. Happy for Michael Mayer. Happy for Jack Besh doing his thing on third downs, and like I said, extremely happy with number 15 and also the two running backs.
702-365-9200 is the number. How would you rate Fernando Mendoza's preseason performance against the Cardinals? Stock up, stock down. Where's your worry? Where's your concern? What did you like from Thursday night? Let's go back to Fernando, though, and I'll push back just a little for argument's sake, Vinny. I did not think he looked in command on that first series. I did not think he looked comfortable. I was talking about it mid-game. He looked antsy. He looked, a little too amped up, and he said as much in his post-game press conference. He said he was sped up that entire first series, and he needed that in order to calm down. Now, the one thing that I noticed is the same thing I've noticed all training camp watching him, is he gets better as it goes along. He's a quick learner in that aspect in terms of what needs to be corrected. It was far from a perfect performance. I would say good, not great. I would say up and down a little bit. There was one play, the quote unquote hospital ball he threw to Mike Washington Jr., right? The incompletion on the opening drive, and Mike kind of got blown up. I asked Mike after the game, I go, how was that? He goes, well, that was my welcome to the NFL moment, and if anything, it's on me. I should have flat instead of kept extending. And then you listen in the press game, you hear Fernando sitting there saying, I can't throw that ball. So good news is you have two rookies taking accountability on a play that didn't go their way. But with Fernando, I think that play fake where he rolled out a little bit and found Malik Benson in between defenders, that was like the catalyst a little bit to him. Okay, now let's get back in a rhythm a little bit. Obviously, then Washington Jr. helping him out with that unbelievable run. Vision, quickness, speed, agility. He kind of wants that one back, though. He thought he was scoring. He thought he was getting in the end zone. He goes, yeah, I got caught. I got caught. We'll adjust that. But in terms of Fernando, I thought he went through progressions, looking back at some of his clips from last night. The Jack Besh touchdown, he saw the coverage. He diagnosed it. He knew where it was going to be open, and he threw right to it. Those are the pluses, right? Like, those are the pluses. And then I think he even mentioned, Clay, remind me, the throw in the end zone to Devin Tompkins. I think Fernando put that on him. But if I'm looking at the replay, and I'm not trying to give 15 all the outs and excuses in the world, but I look at that replay, Tompkins alligator armed it. Like, he pulled it.
Should have been a touchdown.
Say again?
It should have been a touchdown.
Right. Like, but Fernando put that on him, saying, I need to make a better throw.
Yeah.
He's going to say that. But I looked at it again, and that's one of those that should have been 6. So, again, shoulda, coulda, woulda, a lot of learning. I thought there was more good than bad. But, again, I would categorize it as good, not great, in terms of the wow factor, so to speak. You did see those moments, but he was the first to admit, like, watching Kirk Cousins and then going out there, like, it was different. And it was a learning moment. And I really appreciate the self-awareness of, like, yeah, I was really sped up in that early going.
Yeah, you could tell there was the second play after the handoff on his first drive. He just whipped the ball over to the right sideline because he looked like he was flustered. He's like, but you know what? It calmed down for him. And as you said, he gets better as things wear on. And I think that's something that we can all be kind of hopeful as a pattern this year to kind of take a look at and at least appreciate the fact that he does find a way to settle himself and begin to process the way he needs to.
Yeah, and I was grading him on the entire night, not just that. I get the first series, kind of understandable that you're sped up. You're the number one pick. Everybody's in the world is watching you right now. You're going to be a little bit sped up, but thank God I had teachers that threw out the bad test. You remember that back in high school, right? I had a few clunkers. Let's just put it that way. That got thrown out. So if I'm looking at the night. I'm giving him a little bit of leeway on that first series. You kind of expect that the guy's going to be a little bit sped up at that point, but he immediately, basically got through that. And what I loved was it wasn't dinking and dunking necessarily. He was driving the ball downfield, which I love to see, and I think you're going to see that a lot with him. He has such confidence in his arm strength and his vision that he's going to make challenging throws rather than, a lot of times you get those rookie quarterbacks out there, they're just taking the safe throws and throwing it off to the running back or whatever, and the stats look pretty good, but you're looking at it and going, okay, he sort of took the easy way out. I didn't think that Fernando took the easy way out, which I really appreciated about somebody playing in their first game. He did make some throws that they were literally NFL throws, like the throw, what was it, to Malik, that he just it was a BB. Not everybody can make that throw right there, especially in your first game. So by and large,
even his first completion to Jack Besh that did move the sticks on. So there's no question it's NFL throw. When I say, I would categorize it as good, not great, that doesn't mean it's bad. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I'm not saying.
No. Yeah, so we're on the same page in that respect. But there was times he didn't dink and dunk, and after the game he was like, there's probably some I should have just checked it down. Or the first one he ran was the play fake. That he was running out and he thought he was going to get the edge on the defender, and they caught up to him, and he had to throw it out of bounds. And he goes, I know the speed was different, but in college, I'm getting around that end, and I'm probably moving the sticks. Here, I'm throwing that away. Those are the learning moments. Those are those moments where he's like, okay, this is what I can get away with. This is what I can't. This is what I have to do.
Yeah, and that's why playing is so important to me, because you don't learn that on the sideline. I don't care who you are, who you think you are, whatever we think about anything. You can't simulate that sitting there over there on the sideline. I'm not saying that he should start day one. I'm just saying that at some point he needs to get on the field for those exact reasons right there, to actually do it, to actually see it. And if I'm, if I was calling the shots, I'd want to get that taken care of as soon as possible. I also want to see him with the number ones at some point, because it was, you could tell last night, that it was a backup offensive line, and I thought they played reasonably well. But I just want to see him with the top offensive line and a full all the top weapons, and Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer and all that, because I think that would make a difference as well. But by and large, he's exactly where I think he's a little bit ahead of where I thought he would be at this point. And if I'm the Raiders, I know that the Raiders are really happy with what they saw for a first night from number 15.
702-365-9200. We have a ton of post-game sound to go through, not only with Fernando, Kirk, Kubiak, but in the locker room as well. Alex Eschelman will be joining us in hour number 2. We want to hear from you. Your reactions to Thursday night's preseason opening loss to the Arizona Cardinals, 27-14. How would you rate Fernando? How would you categorize his play in his debut? Stock up, stock down. What do you like? We want to hear from you, Raider Nation. Light up the phones. We'll get to your texts. But first,
hey, guys, just want to let you know as a reminder that if you like great Mexican food and a place that's been doing it for a long, long time, Sal's Mexican Restaurant is the place for you. Just a generational place in California Central Valley, Selma, Madera, and Fresno, 3 locations. If you can't make it to any of their locations, don't worry about it. You can just go to salsmexicanrestaurant.com. That's salsmexicanrestaurant.com. And they can deliver the food, whatever you order, to wherever you are. Just go to salsmexicanrestaurant.com.
Fernando looks down the middle. Nice. Benson catches it around the 40. Great play action by Fernando as he throws a strike right down the middle of the field.
That's exactly where it needed to be, too. It was in between the coverage. Ball comes out of his hand really nice. That's a really good throw.
Now, we want to get him plenty of reps in the preseason. That was important for us to see him get lots of turns. And, as these games go on, we're going to evaluate game to game. But, he's a young man that needs experience and needs reps, and we're going to give them to him.
Clint Kubiak talking about Fernando Mendoza and his reps, his time on the field, what it looks like moving forward in the preseason. On the call, JT the Brick, Eric Allen, Matt Millen Raider Nation Radio 920 for that preseason opener, and you could just hear EA in the background going, yes, that's the throw we're talking about. That's what we're looking for. Now, that's just one. Wait till he starts stacking those throws on one another, not too dissimilar to what looked like his final, what turned out to be his final drive of the game. He really got into a flow. And that's where, we talked about Clint Kubiak's offense, Clay, is pace, rhythm, timing. Right? That's Fernando Mendoza's game. And that drive in particular, more than any other, I felt like he was in a rhythm. And it's probably tough to beat that throw to Malik Benson in terms of his best throws of the night.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Jack Best touchdown was elite processing at the line of scrimmage, knew exactly where he was going because he stared it down and he knew where the hole was going to be. But I would even make the argument that pass to Derek Young over the middle late in the third.
Oh, yeah,
It was just, you just heard Matt Millen talk about how when the ball comes out of his arm, comes out of his hand, it looks good. That one looked good. I mean, again, timing, pace, rhythm, hits Derek Young, and then he gets Brandon Johnson for a catch and run. And then a couple plays later, it's Dylan Lobby, the check down. Not exciting, not sexy, but he puts it in a spot that Dylan Lobby's able to make a move and go move the chain. So, again, good, not great. But that doesn't mean, like it was a good performance in his preseason debut. And I saw a stat that said he's the first number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
The first
to throw a touchdown pass in his first preseason game since Baker in 2018.
First time to throw a TD in his debut since 2018.
That seems wild.
So, that's nuts.
But there you go. So, again, there you go.
But that throw to Benson, that was a bullet. And that was one in which you saw a young quarterback trust his arm and trust his ability to make a play downfield. And good job by Benson, because in the play previous to that was a kickoff return where he got upended.
Yeah.
And he landed, he did like a helicopter flip and landed on his wrist. You could feel it was a little bit tender. And then he catches that bullet from Mendoza 19 yards down the field.
I asked Malik about getting his hands on that ball for the first time. He goes, I was so nervous, but as soon as I caught that ball, all the nerves, everything went away, became another game.
Beautiful.
So, that connection, cool to see. Very, very cool to see. Let's get out to the phones. Raider Nation is ready to react. I'm ready to hear it. We are here for it. 702-365-9200. Thoughts on Mendoza's debut? Stock up, stock down. What'd you like? What didn't you see? What do you wish you saw more of? Let's get out to the phones. Juan in Las Vegas. Juan, good morning. Welcome to the tailgate.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning. Man, here we go. First preseason game, and let me tell you, not bad. Not bad. Not bad from where we were just a little while ago. As far as Mendoza, I'll say stock up. I think he looked exactly what he was supposed to look like. Like a number 1 overall pick. Nothing too flashy, nothing too crazy. He did the right reads, and majority of the time I thought he looked good. I think even me and my wife, when we got to the parking lot to leave the stadium after the game, she looked at me and she goes, is that what a quarterback is supposed to look like? I'm like, well, sweetie, I understand that, you had high hopes for Jimmy G and all these other guys, but let's calm it down, sweetie. It's just the first game. Let's take it easy. I understand you're excited. I'm excited too, but it was very good, very good. So I think if it's any consolation, Fernando's already got the approval of my wife. So, if there's any consolation to that, I very happy to see where he was. Overall, exactly what we thought. I mean, I think people tend to forget. I mean, I don't know how you can forget, but we were the team that picked number 1 just this past April. So not everything is going to be pretty right away. Not everything is going to be fixed right away. But from the performance I saw yesterday, yeah, it looked good. I mean, the play calling looks night and day from where we were a year ago. Obviously, the defense, that's going to take some time. That's going to take some work. But overall, very impressed. I think for me, my favorite play, obviously everybody's talking about the Mike Washington long run, but Charles Grant, kudos, my man. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about.
Boom.
That's what I've been talking about. That's what I've been talking about the last couple seasons. Just get mentally tougher. Just keep playing. That's what I'm talking about. So kudos. That was my favorite play right there. Charles Grant yes. More of that, please. Thank you, guys.
Good call, Juan. Thank you.
One in Las Vegas. Yeah, Charles Grant, I thought, showed himself exceptionally well. Clint Kubiak was asked about what he thought about the running game and the blocking, in particular, from the offensive line. He said, I want to take another peek at the film before. We didn't run as much as we wanted because we were trailing by 2 touchdowns. We had to air it out. Which also, side note, Clay. Clint hates losing. If anybody thinks otherwise, now I say that and they're like, Vince, who likes losing? Right. But there's different levels, right? Everybody says, oh, man, nobody's more competitive than this guy. Well, nobody says that about Clint Kubiak. But if you were listening to him last night, it's the preseason opener. Mm-hmm. And he's saying we were down by 2 touchdowns. We had to air it out. Him saying we had to throw it a bunch, we had to get back in the game. We had to win the game. He's trying to win the game.
Oh, there's game planning going on. Oh, yeah.
So, I love that. I appreciate that. He could have easily just kept running the ball in the second half just to get a look at what he wanted. But no, he's creating a foundation, setting the culture, right, that they are here to win. Just win, baby, right? Like, he is living by it. Didn't happen. Didn't come to fruition last night. But again, it's more than just – you have to listen to more than just the surface stuff. You have to listen to more than just – if you listen, just like that little comment right there tells you that they're not thinking about anything else in that moment but winning the game, regardless of who's out there.
You have to appreciate a first-year coach taking a certain amount of respect for his ability to go and game plan in preseason. A lot of coaches in the NFL do not like doing that, and they don't even go that far. Clint Kubiak's doing that, and the fact that he felt there was stuff in the bag that they could go and show, and he wanted to see that, and it makes me very intrigued by what this preseason will be, because watching him on the sideline, first of all, you know who's in charge. As opposed to last year, you didn't know who was in charge. Mm-hmm. And now it seems to be a very good centralized figure in the middle of that field on that sideline, and you can tell that he loves the control of this game, and he's got a very good game plan, and I trust that.
I just like the subtle messaging. I just like the subtle messaging that he has been consistent with. He's asked about Fernando, and he's going to have to answer specifics about Fernando, but he always ties it back to, like Fernando, we all have to get better. That rookie class has to get better. That it is we, not I, and he is living that. 702-365-9200. Raider Don in Philly. Good morning. Welcome back to the tailgate.
Good morning, fellas. How are you doing today?
Hey, Don, baby. Good, Ben.
All right. Anyway, Fernando, Cousins, they both look good. Fernando really impressed me. There's nothing that's going to stop this gentleman in the future. He's really looked good. The stock's up for Malik Benson, Mike Williams Jr., Fernando, but I'm going to go with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think the offense looked good. I think for the bad, I think the defense sort of looked bad. I mean, I feel like we need more pressure from the defensive line. The secondary wasn't – they weren't getting blown out. They were right there. They were just a little technical issues. I feel as though, we would have been okay. And the ugly – I'm a little nervous this year about this, is the kicking game.
Oh, no.
I mean, you can't kick the ball out of bounds. You can't miss a field goal. You know how I am with the kickers, you know what I mean?
I do, Don.
They win you money.
Yeah, and I feel as though that, we're a good team, but we're not that good enough team to overcome the kicking game issues. The punter, he's excellent. I ain't got no problem with him, But the kicking game, I feel as though that's going to be a problem, and maybe we have to bring the man back, Carlson. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for my call, and I'll be talking to you sooner.
Oh, good call. Good observations, Don.
Yeah, and don't be a stranger, Don.
Yeah, please don't.
We're in the thick of it now. We need you.
Felt a little abandoned.
Especially with all these kicking issues now. We definitely need you. Donnie, baby.
Hey, Dono. If you ever have friends in Philadelphia, you just have to you have to change the vernacular a little bit.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Raider Greg in Sacramento. Oh, Raider Greg in Sacramento. Welcome back. What do you got?
My brothers, Vinny, Vincent, Clay. It's a pleasure and humbled as always to speak with you and with Raider Nation. I appreciate it. I really liked what I seen yesterday for Fernando, man. Very efficient, smart, taking what the defense has for him. Definitely the arm strength. I mean, the release of the ball, getting it outside the Besh, inside the Malik. I mean, every throw, I really like the check downs as well, throwing it away. I mean, when coming off that season last year, we didn't see a lot of throwing away. We seen throwing away to the other team. So I was really pleased to see the young man. The size really stands out, the confidence. That's what I love about Fernando, man. I mean, everybody tried to make a lot of, he's goofy, he's this, he's that. But when that man puts that helmet on, he's a different guy. He's locked in. Just a student of the game. I like how he calls out his own mistakes. He has a computer-type mind. The touchdown throw, low and away. I mean, just very precise with what he did. I just think that Clint and the team really has a strong, efficient plan set for his growth, and they just continue to chop wood. Clint said, hey, the guy's going to play a lot, and he played a lot. I really liked, on the other hand as well, though, that no one really talks about, and I just love his professionalism that I'm seeing from Kurt. I mean, we know what's going to come for the young man. He's the future of our team, but I really like what I've seen for Kurt. I mean, every single time he's interviewed, he's asked about Fernando. Nobody's asking about his play. I mean, Kurt came out there literally like he wrote the offense himself. Just the anticipation, the way he threw the ball. He knew where the play was. He knew what the defense was doing. You really see the 15 years of experience. He still has that mind, that computer mind that a lot of the older great quarterbacks had. The way he moved the offense to checks at the line. I see them audible some. Talking to the offensive line, I really liked how he just went down the field methodically, man. I've been a huge of Michael Mayer. I thought that this offense would really bring the best out of him. And you see him early with that first touchdown. Mike looking real fleet of foot. You see that that little leanness that he got in this offense. It reminds me of him at Notre Dame. Really like what I've seen from the starting offensive line. That left side, Linderbaum, Colton, and the names eluded me, the guard.
Spencer Burford.
Burford. But just the cleanness of that side. I really like. I seen JPJ dump a guy and get his pancake. Got that showing that aggression that Muller in the middle, as Big Link says. I really like what I've seen from him. Just looked real efficient. And on top of that, it feels great to have a coach in Clint Kubiak who's calling plays where guys are running wide open. It's so funny watching last year with Seattle. I mean, I guess I know everybody probably was thinking when I was thinking, I'm like, God, these guys are wide open, and the whole season, even in the Super Bowl. And you see, to have a young mind, I think Raider Nation really should be encouraged and invested in what you have at the helm. I mean, a team is a reflection of their coach, the seriousness that he has, how he called out defense right away. I mean, Clint is not, like you guys spoke of, he does not want anything but winning. Mm-hmm. The defense is young. This is Rob Leonard's first time as a DC. A couple guys didn't play. I don't think Quiddy played. I know Max didn't play. So there was and the corners are young, man. They were in the right spot sometimes, but a lot of rust. Darren Porter was just a hair away. But I think we're moving in the right direction. And if we continue to stick to the plan that Clint and the team has laid out, that they're just going to keep chopping wood. This is a long-term thing. I think we're really in a good position. But just the confidence that we have in the center of the field from Linderbaum, just being there, man, worth every penny. You just seen a calmness in that offensive line. And I think we got, we're in a great spot and great leadership. And I only just want to see us get better each week. So I'm not really hard on the defense because I just want to see them get better each week, and I'm very confident in the staff. thank you guys for talking to me as always and letting me talk. God bless you and God bless Raider Nation.
All right,
Greg, we appreciate you. Just one correction. Quiddy Pay did play last night.
Yes, he did
start opposite Malcolm Kuntz. Again, not a lot of runway, but he did get in the game. 702-365-9200. Keep lighting up the phones. We're going to get back to you, but right now it's our Summer of Fun giveaway, and it is the final giveaway to get away of the summer. Woo! Hawaii. 4-night stay, flights from L.A. could be yours. Text in the word of the day. The word of the day here on a Friday, August 14, 2026. Hotel. 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 Text in the word hotel to 702-365-9200, and you will be entered for a chance for a getaway to Hawaii. Courtesy of your friends here at Raider Nation Radio 920. Terribles, this is the Morning Tailgate, Raider Nation Radio 920. Welcome back inside the Morning Tailgate, 702-365-9200. Let's get straight back out to the phones for the rapid reaction from last night's preseason loss to the Arizona Cardinals. Darkside Don, welcome to the tailgate. What do you got?
What's going on? Vince, you look like you've been in the gym, sir.
Oh, well,
yes.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Finally, somebody notices.
Darkside, what? How much do I owe you?
In the gym, Brody. No, you owe me nothing. But I was watching the broadcast last night, and I'm like, oh, my man stopped eating sugar or something.
Gotcha. You nailed it.
What a guy.
What's good though? How y'all been?
Well, great. You tell me, what'd you see last night?
I've been trying not to, jump on the radio because I don't want to get too overexcited, so I'm trying to stay even keeled. But last night, really made me think of a couple of things. I wanted to talk about Cougs, right? And you guys started off on that. In the broadcast at halftime, he was pissed.
Yeah.
Like he was legit pissed. Too many penalties. Defense can't get off the field. And the first thing I said when I said that, I was like, dang, he coaching like it's the regular season.
Bingo.
And then you guys said what you said, and it makes it even more like he's not taking this. He's not looking at this as a preseason game. He legit is coaching like just the regular season. And I love that because the way you practice is the way you play. And if he's gonna coach like it's the regular season, my goodness, you can't ask to be where your feet are at any more than that. And for me, that was something that I took away from the broadcast last night. Gerard McCoy is in phase where what he's not. Vince, you said it kind of really, you really kind of hit it. He's in phase, but he's losing hand battles. Mm-hmm. The second touchdown, the second touchdown that he got put on, he gave when the receiver pushed off on him, he gave him too much space. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be corrected. So I'm not really too much concerned on that. It's just like you guys been saying, he hasn't played ball in 2 years, man. That's something that's gonna come. He's got to get a feel for the spacing, and he's gonna have to get a feel for things like that. But I was encouraged that he was in phase. I've seen rookie quarterbacks, corners for the Raiders not even be in phase. Mm-hmm. So at least he was there. You know what I mean? Yeah. As far as I see a lot of hate too. It's a bunch of hate, a lot of Fernando hate, and I don't understand why. But he came out yesterday and he answered every question that everybody threw on him as far as the negative. Did he have enough zip? Well, that one throw you saw in the middle of the field was enough zip. He even was able to use his athleticism and get out of the pocket on several plays. I wish he would have made a cut to the outside and hit the sideline instead of cutting the inside. He had a touchdown if he would have did that. Mm-hmm. But other than that, for me, can Charles Grant play right tackle? Can he play right tackle? Like literally, that man came out there and was on a whole different page. He was on a whole different message. So can Charles Grant play right tackle? That's something I need to know. But I'm gonna give the game yesterday a B.
Okay.
But I'm enthused just by the mind state of this isn't a preseason game. We're treating this like it's. And another thing, one last point. After the rough part of our schedule, this is going to be a different Raiders team. This is going to be this team is going to end on a high note. You can see it now. Like, it's going to be a lull. People are going to be like, I don't know. But by the end of the season, people are going to be talking way differently about this Raiders team.
Dark Side Don, we appreciate you. We love you. Do it again very soon. More calls on the way. Hour number 2 here on the Tailgate. Vince Sapiens and Clay Baker coming to you live from Las Vegas here on a Friday, August 14, 2026. We are in the afterglow. Still. Maybe a little subdued, right? Clay?
No, I'm on cloud 9.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
So not subdued.
Well,
because afterglow nonetheless.
Yeah, the afterglow was there when I started, but now everyone's kicking in more thoughts and opinions from the game. It makes it real again.
Yeah, we're back there.
And it's like, yeah, maybe a B,
It's never
B
as
plus,
bad as it is.
A
It's never
minus.
as good as it is. Somewhere in the middle, which makes you feel better.
But the stuff that was good, I'm starting to make it. It's starting to overshadow anything else that may have been something of a concern. I love where this is going.
You know, yesterday we were talking, and we were all hopped up on the Mountain Dew, were we not? We were jacked up. We were firing on all cylinders yesterday morning. Vinny goes, "You guys need to pace yourselves."
Yeah.
And I'm not good at that. I'm all in everything I try and do all the time. But there was a point yesterday before I got to the stadium. I'm like, oh boy, there's a lot happening today. But I never hit that dip.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I was just, game days. How can you? There's no dip on a game day. It was a good time.
But you were at the stadium at like 1 o'clock, and then when I saw you at post game in the locker room, I expected the Valley. The Vince Valley?
To be down.
Vince was still going strong.
There's moments, and I don't know, yesterday was just one of those, man, it's good to be back. Breath of fresh air, feels new, feels anew.
It does.
And at the same time, I think I've told you this before, like when I go cover the Golden Knights, specifically in the playoffs, there's something about the anticipation of waiting for what's going to be an insane arena, right? But being inside the building when it's quiet and it's empty is just, it like gives me goosebumps. So like I had to get there super early for my call time because I was on air at 2, right? It doesn't start till 5. And it's just empty and it's quiet. And it's like, this is awesome. Look at where we are right now. It makes you feel so small, but at the same time so big about what is, and it's very cool. And even as early as I wasn't not even close to being the first one there. Tailgaters were already, Raider Nation was set, not even setting up. They were set up.
J-Lot, let's go.
It was awesome.
Yes.
Man, when you're in it, you're like, man, this is normal. But then when it's been a long off season like it has been and the buildup that we've been talking about, and you're back, you're like, yeah, I missed this. This was great.
It was wonderful to see everyone plugged right back in, and the fact of like the routine of football is back in our lives. Mm-hmm. And I think now that we're starting to take a look at, as even Darkside had said at the end of that call, like wait till about mid-season and now see what the identity of this team's going to become after the gauntlet of the schedule. So there's more on the way to get excited about, and that's what makes this year very, very intriguing.
Yeah, it was just a good feeling all around. Again, I know that they didn't get the win. Again, who cares about that in the preseason? But you saw, I think, and we'll go back out to the phone, 702-365-9200. There was enough good seen that keeps the optimism alive, keeps you salivating for more. Let's get back out to the phones. Raider Fed, the OC. Good morning. Welcome to the tailgate. What do you got?
Hey, gentlemen. Long-time listener, first-time caller, Raider Fed from Orange County.
We need like a button for a first time. Can you whip something up, Gardner?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Raider Fed, we're excited that you made this your first call. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah, well, I respect all you gentlemen, but you all missed the most important play of the game yesterday.
Oh, no.
Without doubt.
Okay.
Without doubt.
Was I eating?
first drive, and I have one point I want to talk about afterwards, if I could, about things to improve on. But this play I thought was critical, and everybody missed it. It was 3rd and 1 on the first drive of the game, and everybody on the planet was expecting Ashton Genty to run up the middle, which Ashton Genty did run up the middle on 3rd and 1. But instead of it being 4th and 3, he picked up 7 yards, running behind Linderbaum and JPJ. And to me, that sends a huge message to the NFL that our offensive line is actually going to block this year. And I think that completely changes how defenses have to react to us, because they can't take the stuff up the middle for granted on 3rd down.
Oh, they got better in short yardage. You're right, Fed.
Yes. I mean, it was. I mean, let's be honest. Last 10 years, how many times did we run up the middle on 3rd and 1, and it was 4th and 3 when it was over? This time, Ashton Genty just ran right up the middle like he had nowhere to go, and just drove right through. And Tyler Lindenbaum and JPJ were just clearing a field for him. It was great to see, and I hope that's something we can continue to do. Because if we don't have that ability, the running game is of no real value on short yardage.
Oh, that is a great observation.
That's a great point.
And even on that Washington run, Raider Fed, you could see JPJ and Malik Benson way downfield following their blocks all the way down there. There was a real commitment to run blocking.
Yeah, I mean, and I want to get to your other point, but I'll just speak on that. You're making a great point. The running game, there was obvious, clear push from the offensive line on a consistent basis in the running game. That's why I was so interested, as I said off the top, that Clint Kubiak said he wanted to take another look at the running game, because I think we're all sitting here saying, holy crap, to Raider Fed's point. I think that was the reaction. Because you can even go to the drive where Mike Washington rips off 53 yards. To me, that wasn't even the most impressive run. It was impressive as hell. It was the 4th and 1 that he picks up. To your point, Raider Fed, that a year ago doesn't happen. They don't get that
exactly
push. So that's why I think all of us are sitting there saying, oh my God, they're running the ball. But we asked Clint Kubiak, waiting for him to be like, yeah, we're amazing at running the ball right now. And he's sitting there saying, yeah, I want to take another look. Because his standard is different than what the Raiders' standard was from a year ago. And it's so vast, that different, that I wouldn't be surprised when he meets with us today, and he's going to meet with us via Zoom today at 10 o'clock. I would not be surprised if he goes, we got a lot to clean up. When I sit there and I look at, the Raiders had 91 yards rushing in the first half. I would have to double check that. I don't know how many times that they even came close to that number a year ago for the game, let alone the first half. Go ahead, Raider Fed.
Okay, on the needs to improve side, this has been a pattern the Raiders have had for years as well, and I'm hoping Rob Leonard will break it. But unfortunately, last night I had too many Patrick Graham flashbacks over the last few years. 1st and 2nd down, we play tough, we play aggressive, we get them in the 3rd and mid, 3rd and long. And then for reasons that never cease to amaze me, on 3rd down, the Raiders are now becoming infamous for playing that soft zone. Well, I mean, when it's 3rd and 5 and you're playing 10 yards back and the quarterback's just dumping off the ball for an easy first down, you can't. I mean, if you remember the first half, we gave up every 3rd down conversion. And that was because the defense was just playing so soft.
Yeah.
And I understand we're trying to play vanilla, but winning is a habit.
Yep.
Just like losing is a habit. And if you want to start winning and getting into the habit of winning, you can't just put on those vanilla blinders for the whole entire preseason and hope that the team's just going to snap out of it when the real season starts. You've got to start getting these guys into the habit of playing aggressive on 3rd down. And last night we did not do that. And, you know, Patrick Graham, I'm sure, is a great guy, but that was a huge problem he had as a defensive coordinator. He played very soft on 3rd down. And I would just hate to see Rob Leonard do the same thing. But last night, unfortunately, I thought he did.
Yep. Raider Fed, thanks so much.
That's kind of my needs to improve.
Thank you so much for the phone call. Please do it again. That's a good one. That's going to be our first-time caller drop.
There it is.
I like that. Well done.
Thank you, Raider Fed, kicking it off.
Thank you, Clay.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you, the athletic sugar-free Vince.
Dark Side Don has set me. My day can't go bad now after that.
He's 10 feet tall right now. This is wonderful.
No, Raider Fed makes some great points, though. Look, I'm going to say this. And I'm not going to speak for Rob Leonard, but if I were to guess what he's most upset with from last night is not necessarily how I'm sure he's probably disappointed and probably wants some calls back and things of that nature. But one thing that he has said to us time and time again is he wants his guys to play fast, right? He doesn't want thinking. He just wants you to go 120%. Even if it's wrong, he just wants you to go. He's like, well, I'll coach you up after, but I want you to go. And I thought at times there was more thinking happening in the secondary than just going. And I think that would be the one part that would be most upset with if that is the case. Again, I haven't gone back to look at all the defensive clips, but that's what sticks out to me. There was moments where it looked like there was a lot of thinking as opposed to reacting. Mm-hmm. And I think once more of that starts happening, that's when you have a downhill defense. That's when you have an attacking, aggressive defense that makes quarterbacks second-guess themselves, give that little hitch, give a little hesitation. Then you might see it. Again, pair that with the fact that, Rob Leonard didn't run anything, really. And we'll get our film breakdown experts on here starting next week about what they saw last night. But my first glance, it looked like the same defense just about every single time. So take that with a grain of salt. If you're worried, it's fine. But let's give it another, and let's see if it's a trend or if it was just a one-off, what it may be. 702-365-9200.
Well, I'm with you on that because and Rob Leonard's talked about this, if you're thinking, there's going to be hesitation. And if you're thinking, you're not on the balls of your feet any longer. You're on your heels. And that was just a split-second difference that you could see in the late reaction time out of a lot of the DBs there. That is something that can get cleaned up, though. I'm not worried about that. Film study, that can get fixed.
Can we? So again, not a great day, obviously, for the secondary. Quarterbacks were 15 of 15. I think at one point they were 19 of 21. Is that what what I saw late in the third? They didn't have an incompletion until the third quarter. They didn't punt.
They didn't punt till the fourth.
Yeah. So again, you can't sugarcoat that. That's not good enough. Not even close to it. And to Darkside's point, Clint Kubiak was pissed at halftime, and rightfully so. Like Raider Fed just said, winning's a habit. I would go a step further and say winning's a skill, right? Like it's something you have to nurture, you have to build towards. And so the fact that Clint Kubiak is treating it that way, I think is great. And this guy's a grinder. Everyone we've talked to in the building says training camp. I mean, these coaches are grinding away on film, technique, teaching, et cetera, et cetera. It feels like it's on the up. To the microcosm of Fernando Mendoza, Clint Kubiak called him, I see an ascending player. I see that for the entirety of the team. It may require patience. More is required, but patience is also required. Boom. Put on a T-shirt. 702-365-9200. Claire, are you putting it on a T-shirt?
Hey, I'm writing it down.
Okay.
We'll send it to Coulter. No problem. Coulter and Casey gets things done.
Charles in Oregon. Is he back in Oregon already, or is he still in Vegas?
Still in Vegas.
Are you in the hot tub, Charles? What are we doing?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. I'm still in Vegas.
In the hot tub?
I have not gone home yet. Yeah, no, not in the hot tub yet. My wife's down there. I'm cooking up some egg whites right now. I'm going to meet her down there in a little bit.
Would you bring a hot plate? What's going on?
No, we stay at a resort where we have a full stove, so I can do all my food prep. It's all good.
Okay.
And I'm going to say Vince.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I might have to get Vince on the bodybuilding stage, and I'm just glad that I'm in the Masters division, the old guys, because Vince doesn't qualify for Masters. So that makes me feel, more confident.
What is going on? Do I need to go back and see? What did I
He's an up-and-comer, Charles. You got to watch out. There's always somebody coming up.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to go Mr. Brightside. I took time to process after being at the game last night. And I'm going to go Mr. Brightside on you first.
Okay.
The one thing that I will there is absolutely no doubt we got the right quarterback.
Boom.
You know, you could see his antsiness on the first drive, but after that, like a lot of people have said, his movement in the pocket was impressive. When he took that one hit, I'm like, don't do that. This is preseason. But he popped right up. And as I watch him, you can see, and after his press conference, you realize he learns really quickly. So I'm not worried about it. He played great. Love having Fernando as our quarterback. And I don't hesitate. I would have loved to see him with the first-team offense, like the other people have said.
Mm-hmm.
I would have, loved to see that. It didn't happen. It's okay. If something happens to Kirk, I feel confident Fernando can handle this. So that's great. Got a franchise QB. The other things I noticed that were really good, besides his connection with Malik Benson, players like, was it Kyan Sloan?
Kyan Sloan,
that almost had a strip sack. He was penetrating. That looked good. And even though Kieran Crawford missed, he was getting penetration on the, through the offensive line. So it's going to take them time. I preach patience to Raider Nation in every aspect. Of course, Mike Washington with that big run, but his quickness and his lateral quickness was really impressive. Malik Benson looked good. So there were a lot of positives. That defense left something to be desired, and I trust that they'll get that figured out. One thing I'm going to say this about Raider Nation, though. I'm trying to stay bright side, but the truth is, I was raised in California. I may be Charleston, Oregon, but I used to go to games in Oakland. When the Raiders are on defense, I don't care that it's preseason. Make some noise, man. You're not at the opera. Stand up. I was disappointed with the crowd not being louder when they were on defense. You got to help your team out. You're part of Raider Nation. Get up. And when they're on offense, be quiet. So that was disappointing to me. I'm going to challenge Raider Nation. I love y'all, but you got to make some noise, Vegas. Come on. Bring that Oakland vibe. Okay.
You're right.
Hey, God bless. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Stay positive. Kubiak's going to figure this out, and I preach patience. More patience is required. God bless, guys. Have a great day.
Charles in Oregon, in Vegas. Appreciate you. Have a couple egg whites for me. Up that protein.
Maybe a little rice cake and some peanut butter. More protein. Let's go.
He's like 2 weeks away, isn't he, from his show? Is that what he said?
I think a month, right?
Oh, a month. Yeah. Okay. He's got time. Yeah. Have yourself a rice cake.
He's right, though. It like, regardless if it's preseason, let's make sure we get into the routine of making noise on defense and being quiet on offense.
Yeah.
Charles, I get it. Yeah, sometimes it needs to be reminded. That's not a problem.
Clay, you've hit a...
Yeah.
Clay feels very strongly about it. Doesn't like it. Will you shut up? The offense is at work.
You can't hear me. I'm way too high. I'm 18 stories above the field. No one can hear us. But yeah, I get it, Charles. It is something of a concern.
All right. Let's get, shall we get one more in? Yes. Kenny and Henderson back with us here on the tailgate. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Right. Kenny.
Good. Hey, as you can tell, I think I lost my voice before the first half was even over.
Good man.
I kept that.
Kenny was cheering on defense. Kenny was loud on defense.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was crazy. I mean, Kirk Cousins, surgical going down the field. I think Fernando was great. I think he only missed one pass. My man Jack Besh got that catch, first down on the sideline and a touchdown. I was so happy to see that because I really want this guy to do well with us. Everybody's bringing up the secondary. Here's the thing you guys got to realize. We're playing these guys later this year. We're going to have a vanilla defense, but we didn't blitz at all. These guys are kind of hung out to dry, and I think you're going to see a lot of really good film. Hey, this is what happened. Here's what you got to do. They're all a bunch of kids, They're all very talented. I think, man, I tell you, I was just impressed. And the one thing that I was really bummed out about, I got to say this, I felt really bad for our quarterback. I can't even think of his name off the top of my head. Aiden O'Connell, man, there was like 5 drop passes. When he was going for it, we could have won that game if we catch some of those passes. Mm-hmm. That was the one thing I was just bummed on that one because, man, people were dropping them left and right on the guy, and he was putting the ball right in their hands, it was a great game. I think there's a lot of room for growth, a lot of good film to see. Let's not forget these guys already had a game under their belt. You know what I mean? They played a game already. This is our first game, and I saw nothing but good, man. Nothing but good. Very excited about the season.
Kenny and Henderson, appreciate you. Thanks so much. Warm honey, salt water will help the vocal cords.
Yeah, how about it?
And a good night's sleep.
Yeah, warm up the scotch and bourbon. That also works as well.
Well, that's what I wanted to say, but
Good job, Kenny.
Yeah,
Kenny pulling on his end with the noise. It's good.
Yeah, Arizona looked more crisp in terms of the lack of penalties. They look like a team that has been talked to, playing the Hall of Fame game that they did.
Well, there's another rookie head coach. Mike LaFleur is taking it seriously. He's game planning. Look at what they did against Carolina, Arizona's offense on the Hall of Fame game last week. That's exactly what happened last night. They just go forward, little chunks, 7-6 yards at a time. Whatever you're going to give us, we're going to keep moving forward. There was very few lateral passes out of Arizona last night.
Yeah, and that's why it's a good point. I think, that's why I believe Leonard is going to look at his defense, look at the tape, and be like, we just weren't aggressive enough in terms of just reacting. Like, they were too in their heads, they hesitated, whatever the reason may be. There just wasn't enough of that. But, we got a lot more to get into. I mean, there's so much to unpack in this game. Jack Besh, Michael Mayer. Did Clint Kubiak just unlock Michael Mayer?
No, that was fun to watch.
One drive, and it felt like Michael Mayer was the guy the Raiders drafted out of Notre Dame. Right? Just like that.
He was moved all over the field until finally he got that touchdown pass in which he was wide open. But he was
incredible concept.
I haven't seen him out wide since that very first rookie year, but he was out wide in the slot, left side, right side, up and down the field on that drive, and that looked very natural for him to be that wide open and being a red zone and end zone target.
What do they say? Kubiak was in his bag in that one, like that. That play, Trey Tucker on the outside motions over, brings the corner, leaves that spot empty. Jack Besh, using that physicality, pushes the defender open, and Michael Mayer is wide open in the slot. And Michael Mayer, again, as big as he is I forget who said it, fleet of foot, makes one move, and he's in the end zone. I mean, when you talk about play call design, I imagine that's a play our own Marcus Johnson is probably salivating over.
Yes.
Right? Like, just
charting every play.
Just the movement, the ability to scheme open a player. And again, that is a play that is designed for Michael Mayer, which also tells you the intentionality Clint Kubiak has, not just to a Brock Bowers, but to a Michael Mayer, which I think all of Raider Nation is sitting there saying, hallelujah.
Hallelujah!
Right?
And the reaction of his teammates, it was more than just a celebration for a touchdown. Everybody went up to him and made sure that we are happy that it was you that had that spotlight TD. That was awesome.
And how about this? Fernando throws the Jack Besh touchdown. Jack Besh says, that's my football. I'm keeping that. How about that? I think we buried the lead. Jack Besh says, no, I'm gonna be keeping this.
I'll let you look at it, but I'm holding on to it.
Fernando was asked about that, and he goes, yeah, that's his. I mean, hopefully it's one of many, but that's it. Because I was waiting for Jack to hand the ball to Fernando. If I'm being honest, I was waiting for it to, and he went over to high five him, but he tucked it even more in. Like, no, you get away from me. This is my ball now. This is mine.
Yeah, he didn't even look in his direction. Immediately went to the sideline. Put this away.
I love it. All right, 702-365-9200. That might have been my favorite moment of last night. Because I'm just like, he's going to give him the ball.
Right. As Fernando approached him in the end zone, right?
He's like, no, this is coming home with big 1-8 over here. This is mine now.
You don't expect me to give this up, do you? I know it's your night, but it's also my night.
Yeah, everyone's talking about you. Mr. Catchy McCatcherson is here, and that's my ball now.
I should have got this last year, all right? This is mine. You can't have it.
702-365-9200. We're going to open up the phones here in a hot minute. But first, Alex Eschelman of KTNV will be joining us to get her thoughts on what we saw in the preseason opener. Grading. Fernando Mendoza, stock up, stock down. It's the morning tailgate.
Fernando looking left across the middle. Caught. Touchdown. Jack Besh. Fernando Mendoza. A rifle to Jack Besh. And the Raiders score 6. Touchdown. Las Vegas Raiders.
JT the Brick on the call. Fernando Mendoza's first touchdown inside Allegiant Stadium to Jack Besh. Great call from JT. EA's laughter in the background is just infectious. He's just giggling. He's like all of us, all of Raider Nation on the inside, just giggling. It happened. Let's go.
He's so pleased.
Fernando.
You know, and Gannon was too on the TV broadcast on the other side. You could hear under his breath, like, good check down.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
It's like he was loving it.
Checking the boxes in his head. Process. Checked it. Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Good throw. Excellent touchdown. All right. Got a boy. Get to the sidelines. That's Rich Gannon. That's Rich Gannon football, baby. MVP. 702-365-9200 is the number. Joining us now, KTNV's own Alex Eschelman, storyteller extraordinaire. She was running all over Allegiant Stadium. Live shots, locker room, podium. Good morning, Alex.
Well, I wasn't the only one, Vince. You and I both were running around. You've got me giggling on the other side of the line here. You just, the Fernandos, the Rich Gannons. I mean, it really was, though, such a great night last night. And, all of us who love this game and love sports. I mean, I've always said this, this time of year is my favorite. It really is. I like summer, but as soon as football starts, there's just something in the air. Mm-hmm. And it was in the air last night in Allegiant Stadium. And, hey, they lost. So, but like you said right before I hopped on, it happened. Fernando Mendoza was under center. We got to see him in action. We got to see him, play as a Las Vegas Raider. And, I mean, I think he did a pretty darn good job for his first outing.
Yeah, I categorized it as good, not great, right? Like, he even admitted that first series he was sped up, he was antsy. It wasn't what he wanted in that first series, but he had to get through it. And I think that's really the important part about it. He just get through it. And I think, I don't want to say we already forgot, but he did move the chains on that first. He just does hook up with Jack Besh on that first drive. Doesn't end the way they want, but that second drive, he gets a little bit more comfortable, and then he finds his rhythm. And when I say good, not great, it doesn't mean it was a bad performance. It just simply means like it was another step in the process. And I think, and I want your 2 cents on it. It really does feel like a bigger example of what we've seen in training camp. Good. There's moments of flashing of great, but it was building towards something. Like he was definitely better on his last snap than he was that opening snap, which is really all you can ask for.
100%. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Yes, it really aligned with what we've been seeing the last 3 weeks at training camp. It also feels as though, to be expected, right? Like I don't think that we should necessarily expect this, blowing us all out of the water, just seeing this extraordinary performance right off the bat. I think good, not great is the perfect way to describe it. And I mean, we heard Clint Kubiak last night. He said, Kirk's the guy. He's been taking the reps with the ones, and it's his job to lose. So, and we saw very little of him, obviously, last night. So I'm curious to see as we progress through the preseason and it kind of winds down and heads into the regular season, the impact that even, Kirk Cousins makes down the stretch of these next few preseason games.
And I think that we all got a chance to see how comfortable Kirk Cousins is in a Kubiak offense. What did you make of that first drive? Because it looked very efficient.
Yeah, and like I just said about, Fernando Mendoza, to be expected his performance, that was also to be expected from Kirk Cousins. I mean, and we've been seeing that. That's nothing new for all of us who have been at training camp since day one the last few weeks. When he steps into play, you can just feel and see how dialed in he is, how confident he is, how comfortable he is. And not only he's comfortable and confident, but that feeds off into the rest of the ones and the rest of the offense when he is playing. You can tell the way that he commands the offense is infectious, and the rest of the team buys into that. So, and Fernando Mendoza talked about that as well. He's like, listen, I'm still learning. He kind of described everything that, was comfortable and uncomfortable about the first outing. And I think that he's looking to Kirk Cousins to kind of be the best example for him. So when it's his time, he knows exactly what to do.
Quarterbacks aside, Alex, whose stock is up the most after Thursday night's preseason game?
Well, I think it's hard to ignore Jack Besh. Everybody, I think, was excited to see the production that he was able to have last night, him reach the end zone for the first time as a Raider. I mean, especially because of how little time he did get, all of last year as a rookie. So I think it's safe to say everybody was, rooting for him and excited for him. And I think he had a really, really good showing. That's the biggest guy that kind of stands out to me. How about you guys?
Well, just to piggyback off Jack Besh, Clay, and I think that maybe the most notable part about it wasn't even the stuff on the field, is what Kirk Cousins and Clint Kubiak had to say after about Jack Besh. They admitted, they go, look, we haven't gotten him enough run in practice. He hasn't gotten enough routes. He hasn't gotten enough passes thrown his way. For whatever the reason is, they admitted, and Kirk goes, that's something that needs to be fixed, because what we saw in the open practice, Fernando hooked up with Jack Besh a couple times that open practice, and then Jack Besh became the new third and Renfro. I got to steal from Paul Gutierrez. He was the first to tweet it, which I was pissed about because I wanted to be the first to tweet it, but PG beat me to it. But he said third and Besh, and all three catches were on third down, resulted in a first down or a touchdown. And I think Kirk hit the nail on the head in terms of describing him. And the biggest compliment a receiver can have for a quarterback is trust. And Kirk Cousins trusts that whether it's a tight window, coverage is sticky or not, that Jack Besh has strong hands, physical nature, and will come down with him. He saw that last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Clint, Kirk, Fernando, they all had such good things to say after the game, and going off of you, Vince, and we've kind of been talking about this, but Clint Kubiak just doesn't seem like he's a first-year head coach. He seems like everything that is happening up to this point, it feels like he's already mapped it out, and he just got up to the podium with such poise last night and was like, "Listen, we got a lot of things to fix," and that kind of trickled into what Kirk said and what Fernando said. Like, they still, even though it's preseason and it's a learning experience, it was still a loss. And they all said, this fan base deserves some hope, some light, and that's what we're still working towards. So I'm curious to see what happens this upcoming week and their first road trip to Houston.
Well, one of which gets overshadowed by everyone's focus on the offense is that the defense and the young DBs, it wasn't as crisp and it wasn't as sticky as people were hoping for on the defensive side. Sometimes just getting a week of taking a look at the film study can go and fix that technique. What do you think you might find a little different this time around? Because they'll go to Houston, and with that joint practice and with that game, you know that Houston's going to be in attack mode.
Yeah, and that's a great question. I think when you look at the Raiders' defense, obviously we say Max Crosby is the leader of in the face of the defense, right? But I do think that they're still kind of figuring out who the guy, like who those guys are, within the secondary. And we saw, Traden Stukes last night. And, we saw a number of those guys. I'm curious to see what Quay Walker brings. I'm curious to see what Eric Stokes brings and Kobe Dean. And I think that those, Max Crosby, face of the defense, but who are going to be those leaders who really step up and take control and fly to the ball and define that classic Raiders grit. We haven't seen that yet.
It's Alex Eschelman, KTNV. Just a couple more, Alex. I said yesterday we're going to overreact to everything, good and bad.
Of course.
And then I said this morning, we're not going to overreact to anything.
Nope.
But let me ask you, is it the secondary? What is it for you if your worry meter started blinking a little bit last night? When did it start blinking, and what was happening?
Oh, I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel like the worry meter is always blinking when you're covering the Raiders right now. This is now going to be my second full season. This is going to be I got here in 2024, so I'm still fresh and new, but I have a couple of seasons under the belt. I mean, the worry meter is going to be blinking until we reach 5 wins. I want to see the team win 5 games this year. I know that is not a lot, but that's what I want to see. And my worry meter will stop blinking as much. You don't know. You don't know. I mean, you really don't know. So I think defensively, the line, just talking with Raider Nation last night too, people were saying, they want to see a little more production from the defensive line. I also think I'm curious to see how the offensive line, continues to identify themselves. That's been a talking point since the minute last season ended. So that's me. I'm erring on the side of caution. Where's your guys' worry meter at right now?
Oh, it's always it's always peaking for me. I get it too. Even after a preseason week 1, my worry meter's like, well, this kicking game, I don't know. So it's
right.
It never ends.
Rooting for him so hard.
It never ends. Alex Eschelman, Channel 13, fantastic job. Follow her on X. Alex Eschelman, thank you so much for your time. It's really good to talk to you, and it was great to see you down there. As we always work the locker room and the press room at the bottom, getting ready for the end of the game. It's always good to see you.
Hey, it's our little sports family. We're back to annoying each other every single day for the next 6+ months. So Here we go.
I know. She's talking to you, Clay.
Well,
we were annoying
Alex
everybody.
And I wait for you to come in there to lighten everything up.
Oh, stop it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you. It's Alex Eschelman, KTNV. It's the Morning Tailgate, Raider Nation Radio, 920-702-365-9200. Let's get back to the phones. Let's hear from you. Your I guess not rapid anymore, your reaction to last night's preseason opening loss, Fernando's debut, stock up, stock down. What do you like? What didn't you like? Next, here on the Tailgate.
I love you guys. Let's go!
An
Two-back set, Jack Besh in motion, Benson to the far right. Fernando going to hand it off to Washington Jr. up the middle. He's got room. He kicks it out to the left. He's going down the left side, 40, 30. 20, can he come inside? Brought down at the 13-yard line. There was the burst when he found the hole, bounced out to the left for a big gain.
Yeah, I think I'll take time to peek at it tomorrow. Definitely didn't get to run as much tonight. We had to throw it a bunch in that second half. I'd like to peek at it first. But it's something that we're always trying to get better at is our run blocking, play action, and making things look the same, but we got to be able to be in the game at the end so we can keep doing that the whole game.
Raiders head coach Clint Kubiak, when he says take a peek, that means like 6 hours. I'm going to spend 6 hours just on the offensive line.
It's not going to be a cursory glance.
Yeah, people hear peak. It's like, I'll give it a quick look. Once over, I'd be surprised if he slept. I mean, the look on his face last night, and this is what I think Raider Nation, I hope, I would love to hear from you, 702-365-9200, is, was it Don who referenced his halftime? Was it Don who referenced his halftime?
Yeah,
how he was pissed off at halftime?
Yeah, he was real steamed.
His demeanor after the game was equally, stern, focused, like a guy who was itching to get off that podium, get back to the facility, and start cutting up the tape. That's what it looked like to me. A guy that was just yearning to correct what was immediate mistakes that he saw on the surface level. Now, again, as coaches always say, it's never as bad as it first looks, and it's never as good as it first looks. But it felt like there was a clear understanding from him of what he wanted to look at. The offensive line, he said, I don't want to answer that. I want to go look at the ins and outs. I will say, Charles Grant looked unbelievable. Jackson Powers Johnson was a menace out there. Still rotated with Caleb Rogers of every other series in that first half, which is, hey, more opportunity to put on good tape. That's how I'd look at it.
That's how I was looking at it. It's like, hey, just as many reps as possible. It's all going to go well. Even Trey Zune at right tackle.
I love it. Let's dive into a little bit more of what we saw from the preseason opener Thursday night against Arizona. In hour number 3, we're going to open up the phone lines for the rest of the show. So we want to hear from you, as well as the text line is open and available. 702-365-9200. It's the tailgate. It's hour number 3 here on the Morning Tailgate, Raider Nation Radio 920, the flagship for the silver and black. Vince Sapienza, Clay Baker coming to you live from Las Vegas here on the Friday, August 14th, 2026. The Raiders fall in their preseason opener at Allegiant Stadium, 27-14. To the Arizona Cardinals, but Fernando Mendoza makes his debut. Kirk Cousins looks like the vet that he is. 15 years in the NFL, and he was surgical. He was on time, in rhythm, leading a 10-play, 68-yard opening drive to start the game, resulting in a 13-yard touchdown catch and run for one Michael Mayer. The offensive line had push. The starters left shortly after that. In comes Fernando Mendoza. A little rocky to start. Picked it up on the second drive. A 3-and-out on his third full drive, because technically his third drive was kneeling at the end of the half. But his third real drive, a 3-and-out, not what you want. And then the fourth drive, he leaves the team down the field. Maybe his best drive in terms of rhythm throws. Derek Young, Brandon Johnson, Dylan Lobby, getting the balls in his playmakers' hands. They matriculate down the field. Throws the ball on a third and long, 3rd and 7, I believe it was, to Devin Tompkins. Maybe a little alligator arm syndrome going on with the Raiders wide receiver. The fall's incomplete. Fernando put it on himself. I think we would all sit there and say maybe one of the starting receivers comes down with that.
Yeah.
Maybe we say that. Kansei Matsuzawa has a chance to kick a field goal. He doinks it off the post. He had a rough night. Not a good kickoff.
Yeah, penalty.
Off the penalty, goes out of bounds. So, really unfortunate for the Tokyo Toe. Not the night he probably envisioned, not the night he wanted. Definitely heard it from special teams coordinator Joe DeCamillis on the sidelines after, specifically off that kickoff. It's the life of the NFL. It's a different world, right? It's a different kind of pressure. While the field goal, the posts, same color, same look. It's a different type feel in those NFL stadiums. So hopefully he gets another opportunity to kind of redeem himself a little bit there. But the story once again is Fernando, who goes 10 of 16, 97 yards, and a touchdown, a passer rating of 100.3. Now, we were feeling some kind of way yesterday. And a lot of that has to do with Raider Reggie's song, Clay. Fernando. Can we hear just I just need it. I just need it in my life.
On the Vegas sky, The lights are burning bright. Fernando, silver echoes roll through the night. They're calling your name, you know. From the stands comes a roar. The black holes crying out for more. They believe you'll lead the way. The chosen one, we pray. Raiders!
Yeah, love that. Yeah, I mean, the chosen one, we pray is such a bar. It is unbelievable. Feeling a little in that creative mood. Coulter from KC, who asked for the song, was looking for the song to play in the car loop line, picking up his kid yesterday before the game, right?
Yeah. At a very, nice Kansas City public school.
Yep.
Where everyone's got the windows down, all these Chiefs fans with their little flags.
Our guy Coulter says, good morning, guys. First off, the song went over great in the pickup line.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Playing it back-to-back for 15 minutes straight was awesome.
Every yard, every play.
And the kids are like, oh, well, we know where Dad is.
Can you imagine just in the heart of Chiefs Kingdom, 15 minutes straight of this anthem singing Fernando? Well done, Coulter. I mean, you deserve a high five and a hug today,
yes.
For sure. He says, as for the game, it's preseason game number 1, no concerns except for fixing all the penalty mistakes. Got to be better there, but all in all, it was a good night. Got to have my wings, watch Raider football with my kids. Can't ask for much more. Wings, football, family. That's a pretty good recipe.
Sounds like we had a good day. He had a better day.
I do wonder what the kids' reaction was. If the kids were like, oh, Dad.
Well, it's like,
Dad, I have to go to school here.
Yeah.
I have to be here 8 hours a day. Can we?
We're surrounded by Chiefs fans, students, teachers, administrators. And when you got the Alpine speakers blasting out on Raider Reggie's Fernando song, yeah, I think it's a bit much. But you know what? I'd have to think in that house, they probably like it.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I think the kids are probably like, you know what? I'm okay.
Hollister Raider. Oh, Hollister saw the broadcast that we did last night, like the pregame coverage. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Aiden. Thank you too. Tech Raider. Morning tailgaters. My biggest issue with the game was Fernando not getting a chance to play with the starting O-line. When I saw Meredith at center and Mafia at left guard, I got PTSD from last year's O-line debacle. Next game, Fernando needs time with the ones and the first team O-line. I'd like to see that as well.
Would you be happy if it was that way in joint practice instead of the game?
Interesting. Yeah, that's going to be interesting what Clint Kubiak's plan is to divvy that up. What that will look like, what will that entail? How long they're going to go, because they're only getting one practice, right? So how long are they going to go in that one practice? How much actual team of that practice are they doing? You got to split up the reps somehow. Clint Kubiak was asked, when you're going to name a starting quarterback? And he said, Kirk's been our guy with the ones. His job to lose. Pretty profound, pretty emphatic and blunt statement. Right there, it's his job to lose.
Solid.
And so as much as Fernando grew, and no doubt he did yesterday, growth is going to have to continue in order for him to overtake Kirk Cousins, who, again, looked like you would expect a 15-year vet in a preseason game to look. In command, in control, timing, rhythm, pace, everything, finishing a drive with a touchdown. So Fernando, again, we have said, and I still believe it, is running his race. Vinny has talked about how he believes he's farther ahead than he thought he would be at this point, which is a good sign. But has it closed the gap enough for Clint Kubiak? At least at this particular juncture, after one preseason game, the answer is no. But there's still plenty of runway ahead of that Week 1 game against Miami.
We've seen a lot of rookie quarterbacks come out in that preseason debut and not play as well. And there are a lot of factors that go into it, but it all comes down to their ability to process and their ability to execute what's being asked of them. And just look at the little things that Fernando was able to do, just as like the play action fake, taking snaps under center, having certain touch on the ball. The Drake Young play was very nice. As you brought it up in the first hour, it's just as a crossing route, he was able to hit that really, really well, and trust in his arm. The throw to Malik Benson was a bullet. That was something that you could say that the real talented guys with a great arm, they can do that. But for for Fernando to do that in his first debut shows you that he knows what he's capable of doing, and when those plays are going to be open, he's going to be coming down firing. And there was a forward progress to everything he was doing. There was a lot of lateral stuff. There was a lot of activity where he was going downfield and attacking downfield. That was good because you see a lot of checkdowns in a lot of rookie games in their debut where they're just trying to play, trying not to lose. Mendoza was actually on the attack, so that was good to see. And the resiliency. If there was a bad throw or something bad would happen, he would come back with something strong. Mm-hmm. Even in that first drive where he threw it out of bounds immediately, we looked like everything's getting a little bit flustered. The next play was a first down to Jack Besh, who made an absolutely great catch.
He wasn't a kid playing it safe.
No.
He wasn't a kid playing it safe. He was a kid going out there and trying to play his game, and I really liked it. Snake Man on the text line says, linebackers look fine. Young secondary will require much patience, but D-line is a massive concern, especially the D tackles. Will be a repeat on defense like last year if we can't stop the run and pressure quarterbacks. Offensively, only glaring issue was Spencer Burford getting work done almost every play first drive. Otherwise, O-line looked stout. I'm going to have to go back and look at it myself in terms of the offensive line. I thought the offensive line looked really good as a whole, as a unit. I'm not going to speak on Burford because I didn't really – I need to go back and look at him specifically. But, just again, talking about the standard that's been brought, Tyler Linderbaum last night after the game, we say, hey, small sample size, but, how would you feel you accomplished? He goes, yeah, I didn't like the first two plays. And I go back and like the first two plays. I know one was an incompletion to Genty, so I'm like, not sure how that affects you. Not that, you know what I mean? That's an issue. And I'm like, the first run was for 3 yards. But again, 3 yards. Last year was like, hey, we got 3 yards.
That's the truth.
The standard now is, I only got 3 yards on the first play. It's not good enough. That is an unbelievable turnaround just in terms of mentality of what Tyler Linderbaum brings. They obviously, got to it a little bit. Again, small sample size for the ones. I liked what I saw. I really liked what I saw from the twos, if I'm being honest, in the run game. I mean, that 53-yard run for Mike Washington was as well executed a run play as we've seen. I mean, Charles Grant just destroying his person. Jack Besh coming down and just washing out the linebackers. I think it was the linebacker that he had. Creating, look, to put it in context, that particular play in itself, Vince, it's preseason. Vince, it was the twos. Okay, I hear you. Don't disagree with you. We didn't get a well-executed run play like that until week 4 last year of Chicago. Clay, am I wrong? We didn't get a play of that magnitude executed blocked until week 4 last year. We saw it in week 1 of the preseason.
Yeah, that's a good sign. That shows you standards have been raised. And that run came after a couple of penalties. So it wasn't like, the offensive line, there was some holding on Mafi or trippy on Mafi, right? And holding on Albert O or something like that. There was some it wasn't clean up until that run came. But when that run came, it showed you how good this is getting. And the fact that on both sides, the ones and the twos on that offensive line were run blocking. And that's a great start because without that run blocking, without that component, this offense is going nowhere.
Bingo. And the run game will breed success for Fernando Mendoza. Let's go to the podium from last night of number 15, Fernando Mendoza, what he had to say following his NFL preseason debut.
Go to Hondo here first.
Fernando, you got that first game under your belt. Just thoughts, quick reaction. I know you haven't seen the film, but for getting your first NFL game that fulfilled the dream, just your quick reaction.
Yeah, first I want to thank God and my teammates and coaches for allowing me the opportunity. Today was an invigorating experience where there's not many moments where you feel fully alive, and on the field is when you feel fully alive, especially in the NFL atmosphere. So I want to give thanks to that. It was great to get out there, get my feet wet. At first, especially the first drive, felt a little sped up because so much anticipation and excitement. However, I feel like my teammates around me protected me very well, and they helped slow me down. And I think it was a good experience.
You had that pass to Malik between 3 defenders. What gave you the confidence, I guess, to just pull the trigger on that play?
Yeah, it's all about the timing and trusting your feet, as coach, especially as Coach Janoko and Coach Sullivan say. Is at that point in time, I knew I was able to identify the coverage, and I knew the spot Malik was going to be, and that was a good timing and anticipation with the route. It was fantastic protection. It was a great fake by the running back, and it was something that we've worked on, building that timing and anticipation. However, there's other throws and other passes that I made that did not have great timing and anticipation throughout the game, but that was one that was a good connection, and it shows that there are some that I have time and anticipation, like you see Kirk is just time anticipation, boom, 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 and so that's an area I got to grow in.
Jack said in the locker room he's taking the ball. Who's going to get the ball?
Oh, Jack has it. He risked his body and made a great catch. The offensive line made great blocks, and it was great. I actually didn't realize that was Jack's first touchdown. And evidently, hopefully, and looking forward in the future, him scoring many touchdowns in the regular season.
Ask a rookie right there when the jitters went out. But I'm wondering how much you were able to lean on when you think about the career you had and the last game you played before tonight, the crowd, everything that was at stake. Were you able to lean on that mentally at any point to help get the jitters out? Did that play a role in any way or any capacity?
I believe that confidence is always a big part in how you play, especially whether you're an athlete, artist, performer, in everyday life. Confidence is a big aspect in your eventual performance. And one of the sources of confidence is prior experience. So I have leaned on that in the past. However, Mr. Brady was able to talk to our team last night, and he said, no matter how good of a high school or college player you were, the NFL is a different level. And I felt that tonight, and I have a lot to grow from.
Fernando, just going in, your emotions, were they what you thought they would be? Did you feel different before you ran on the field for the first time?
Yeah, I would say they are what I thought they would be. I was able, especially as a quarterback, you don't want to get too emotional because you want to be able to process, make the right checks, make the right reads. And I felt that it was good emotion getting in the huddle with my guys, in a sense, being able to break through and finally play a snap in the preseason, which is going to be faster than practice, just how it is with adrenaline, and then the regular season gets faster than that, and on and on. So I think it was a good experience to get my feet wet. But I mean, overall it was a good experience to get my feet wet.
And then what were you thinking when you ran off the field after your second series and the touchdown?
It was great. The first series I felt a little sped up, so it was good to come back on the sideline, learn from my mistakes, and then the second series we were able to score. Third series, I missed a read there, and the fourth series I thought we had a good thing going, and then unfortunately I missed a throw at the end. And then overall, I felt that the group that I was in with, they blocked fantastic. They had great routes. The run game was good, and unfortunately, I let my teammates down today, but it's a growing experience, and I feel like we're all growing, and it showed me that I need to grow a lot.
Fernando, you played 4 series tonight. I asked Coach Kubiak if he had a plan in place for you to play week 2 and week 3. He said you need, quote, lots of reps. Has it been communicated to you yet how much action you can see in Houston or week 3?
Do you mean like preseason, week 2, week 3? Okay, cool. Yeah, I believe that reps is always the answer. It's like there's no secret. It's the more repetition that you have at a certain craft that you're going to be able to go closer to mastery every single rep that you attain. And that's something that, I strive on the opportunity. I'm excited for the opportunity. Any opportunity of reps that I get, whether it's 4 series tonight, whether it's, let's say, how many series week 2, week 3, whether it's practicing against Houston, I'm looking for the opportunity because I have a lot of room to grow, and I'm really excited to get out there with my guys.
Pass the mic down this one. Jesse.
Fernando, you seem to have developed a pretty good rapport rapport with Malik Benson. You talked about the one pass over the middle to him, but just overall, what did you see from him tonight in the game?
Malik's a fantastic player, and throughout all of campus, as well as all of our receivers, we've seen something special in him. He's a great playmaker. He understands the game, and I believe that our chemistry as both as rookies is evolving. And so to be able to learn from him on what he wants from a ball placement, timing, anticipation, I believe we're both growing together.
Fernando, I know you're talking about, getting your feet wet and just kind of getting used to the system, but what genuinely surprised you the most about the NFL speed and feel for the game?
Yeah, I would say that the speed, also not having played, all of us haven't played football in a little while, so I think the speed's always going to be a little amped up, and I thought, the guys did great out there today. There was one play where I scrambled to the right, and usually sometimes I'll be able to get the edge, maybe scramble for 2 or 3 yards, and it's like, wow, you guys are a little faster than I thought. I'm not going to be able to get around them. So I had to throw the ball away and try to make the smart play to best serve my teammates. So I would say definitely faster and they hit harder. So surprise, but no surprise.
Fernando, from third-string quarterback at Cal to now walking off the field as a Las Vegas Raider in your first NFL game. When you think on this journey now, what did tonight mean to you?
It's a great blessing, and I'm very, very grateful. However, being able to get to this point, that third-string quarterback at Cal would have not believed where we are now. However, now that I've been able to be blessed with great teammates, coaches, and given this opportunity, I need to take full advantage of the opportunity and make sure that I best serve my teammates from now going forward.
Fernando, over here. You talked about having some good plays, having some not so good plays tonight. The coaches have talked about wanting to see you bounce back from adversity most in this training camp. How do you feel like you did that, kind of bouncing back from some of those plays that you weren't so happy with tonight, and kind of what's your overall approach to that?
I think the number one thing as far as goes as quarterback is adversity is always protecting the ball. That was a big emphasis, and I believe that all 3 quarterbacks protected the ball well tonight. So I think that was, a check mark in our room. However, there was a couple of reads that I missed, and I let some of my teammates down, whether it was a missed throw or missed read or missed check, and so on some of the plays that I'm going to need to learn and grow from to best serve them in the future. And it's all about having the composure, whether it's you come off and, wow, I should have made a better play on third down, to you feel bad because you want to best serve your teammates and you don't want to let them down. But at the same time, you understand to be at your best, you need to be composed and have a next play mentality and look at the next play as a new opportunity, as a blank slate, because it's the only one that matters. And that's how you control the controllables. And that's how you bounce back from adversity. Because whether it's the first play, where I threw it away where I should have, hit the flat, it's, that one play shouldn't be able to derail your entire game. So it's having the mental fortitude, mental strength, and having your teammates believe in you and you believe in them in order to get back on track.
How do you feel this coaching staff and working with Andrew and Clint on the sidelines helped you stay composed in those moments?
Yeah. They have Coach Noco, Coach Kubiak, and Coach Sullivan. They all have a very high standard, and that's a standard that I want to one day get to, and that I know our entire offensive unit and team wants to get to. And, I did not meet that standard tonight. I know a lot of our offensive players most likely did. You got to watch the film, and that's a standard that I think that's the best type of coaching. Where, they're not they're gonna hold you accountable and hold you to a high standard.
Fernando, how valuable is having this tape tonight against an opposing team, and how quickly do you anticipate going into that tape?
Oh, definitely right after this. I have nothing else to really do tonight, but it's great because in training camp, you're out there. I believe we had probably around 10, 12 practices we've had against our guys. We kind of understand each other's schemes at this point. We get a lot of reps against each other, the personnel, but to actually be able to go through a week of preparation, scouting, little bit of schematics against the Cardinals defense, and then be able to get out there, call in the huddle, have the play clock, have the real refs with the flags, have real adversity where it's not practice where it's like, okay, incomplete pass, next play, boom. It's not scripted. It's the real game. You don't understand. There's no saying what could happen. All you can control is that present moment. So I look forward to learning from it, and it's a great moment, especially as being able to play football in the NFL and having so much gratitude, but also wanting to take advantage of the opportunity.
We're going to do two more, Alex, and then Willie.
Fernando, how helpful has Kirk Cousins been for you, especially tonight? I mean, when he was up at the podium, somebody asked him if he's giving you any advice, and he said, I don't really have to because he knows what he's doing, but I'm there if he needs me. And he also said you're a great question asker. So did you ask him any questions throughout today? How helpful was he?
Yeah, Kirk has given me a lot of advice, and as we can see from his play out there today, and especially the first team offense, I mean, they're very good at what they do. And someone like Kirk, who's a master at his work, it's very beneficial to learn from, to listen from him, and to sometimes ask him questions. And so he's given me a lot of advice, whether it's firsthand, secondhand, or just seeing him operate today, the way that he was composed out there and led a great touchdown drive.
Fernando, we take you away from the facility and away from the stadium and pregame. Take us through the day this morning and sort of what your game day prep was and how you maybe lean on certain things to prepare yourself without the help of any of your teammates and to get ready for today.
Yeah. I'll just take you through my routine today. Today, just my routine that I've had. And like Coach Sullivan, quarterback coach, says that your routine evolves. And right now, the routine I have placed that I had in college, but evidently someone learning from Kirk's routine has evolved throughout his career. So there's things I look on taking, whether it's what time to get to the stadium. For example, I drove to the stadium today, and that was the first time I've ever done that, because usually in college, you just hop on the bus. It's very regimented. So there's a lot more autonomy that you get as an NFL player, a lot more flexibility, and I think that's going to be beneficial in the future. It goes with going to the facility. We have walkthroughs, then taking a little nap, then we have team lunch, making sure I'm praying and meditating. I do, a whole prayer, and then I do a little bit of a guided meditation to try to soothe my mind down and my senses down, because very amped up for the game. However, I need to take my activation level, let's say out of 10, I try to take it to around a 6. So it gets to like 7.5, 8 of the game where I'm ready and firing. Because if I'm at a 10 out of 10, then I'm just going to be out there like going crazy, running around, throwing the ball, just we wouldn't want that. And comes in here, and we have a great training staff, so doing tissue work with the training staff, getting stretched out, and then talking to the equipment staff, and they have done a great job as well today. And it's great to learn from them. Like, hey, here's the ball's going to be in the first quarter, second quarter. Hey, here's your, and just different mechanics. So it was good getting my feet wet, kind of routine based, and having some elements that I've kept, and the elements I say, okay, I have this 30 minutes here. What should I do with it when we play Houston? What should I do with it when we play the Niners? And so I'm looking forward to leaning on those guys, especially the veterans, on how they do it, now having experienced a game day, quote unquote. Thank you guys. God bless.
Oh, Fernando Mendoza live from the post-game press conference at Allegiant Stadium last night. We will get more of your thoughts and reactions on the phones and on the text at 702-365-9200. It's the morning tailgate, Raider Nation Radio 920.
He goes out to the left. Fernando looking, holding, staying in the pocket, and complete. Solid play that will pick up a first down to Tariq Young.
Casey, the break on the call, Raider Nation Radio 920. For my money, it's hard to ignore the Malik Benson pass, obviously the best touchdown, but that Tariq Young pass over the middle, just, again, timing, anticipation, accuracy on the button, and then moving the ball, and it was the start to what was a drive that should have resulted in points. Field goal went off the post, and the offense came up empty as a result of it. But that pass from Fernando, again, the progressions that he's going through, his ability to read, decipher, process, the defense, the looks that he's getting. You heard him as we played you his sound from last night just a few minutes ago, that he was able to start getting to that after his body sped up, stopped speeding up, and the antsiness kind of went away and things of that nature. But, that last little bit talking about his day, right? Like, how excited Raider Nation was all day for what they were seeing. taking a step in his shoes of what that day must have been like, right? And he outlined it beautifully and gave us, a nice glimpse into, but just some of the stuff that he didn't know. Like, you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it, right? And even for something as simple as him saying, I never drove myself to a game before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in college, we're taking the bus. In high school, you're taking buses when you go on the road.
We do it as a team.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about
like when's
when do I
the
leave?
last time he had to get in a car to go to his own game? Like, that was weird. And just finding the pockets of when to do things, when to get tissue work, as he was talking about, when to take a nap, when to go through walkthrough, when to study, his checks, all those different things. He didn't say this explicitly, but you kind of heard it. He was, I had a 30-minute window here. What do I do for those 30 minutes? How do I best utilize those 30 minutes? So, like, he's finding his routine because he talked about evolving it. Everybody has their routine, what they like to do, but now you have to evolve it to NFL life, what that looks like. Just something as simple as navigating your way from the facility or your home or wherever it is to the stadium. All right, I got to give myself 15, 20 minutes. It was raining yesterday, so maybe add an extra 10 minutes because Las Vegas people apparently don't know what drops of water from the sky are.
It's good to learn that behavior.
Yeah, so even stuff as simple as that have nothing to do with football, him figuring it out, was fascinating to listen to. And you segue that into a guy who got comfortable in Fernando Mendoza as the game went on, to a fellow rookie in Mike Washington Jr., where Fernando was able to get comfortable, large in part because of the running game and being able to get in a flow. Mike Washington has that big 53-yard run. As impressive as that was his 4th-and-1 conversion that allowed the drive to obviously continue. But something that we learned yesterday, post-game after, not only was this his debut, that was obvious. It was the first NFL game he had ever been to. How about that? The first NFL experience you ever have, either as a fan, in person, is you playing on the field. Take a listen to what Mike Washington Jr. had to say post-game following that preseason opener.
Start off by taking us through that run. What was that feeling like for you? What did you see?
Well, first thing first, I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, I wouldn't even be here. But, that run was just, we went draw, I believe. And, it just hit perfectly. Literally, just like how it hit in practice, it hit like how it did in the game.
The feeling, I guess, again, you've broken off big runs before. Like, how was that different? Is that something you felt on the sidelines after? Like, how do you describe that?
It was electrifying. It's kind of like how Fernando said. It's like, your first day, going back to school. Like, playing your first game. Like, I know it's a preseason game, but it's my first game, and being able to break a long run like that in my first game is dope.
Especially being able to have success on your guys' drives like you guys did. Yeah. How important was that for you guys, young rookies, being able to come in and participate a lot in this game?
Well, we definitely needed it. First experience ever. My personal, I've never been to an NFL game at all, so this is my first ever NFL game that I've been to. But we definitely needed it as rookies, being able to get out there and get that experience against, players who've been playing it and other, first-year players also.
Were there nerves at all? And at any point were they shaken off, maybe in that giant run?
Yeah, so leading up to the game, I wasn't nervous, but once I touched the field, I was super nervous. Then I got my first touch. I got hit. I guess I had my welcome to the NFL moment on that flat route, got hit. But, yeah, the nerves kind of went away after that.
But was there a lot of pain or just kind of just sudden shock on that one?
It was a shock. I didn't see him coming at all. I should have sat. I broke out when I shouldn't have. I should have just sat it, but I ended up breaking out when they were in zone, and I should never did that. He was right there.
And what did you see from Fernando, the way he was able to command the offense? I think it was right before the quarter ended. You guys were on a roll, and then the quarter ended. What'd you see from him?
His poise. He had, I talked to him too, great pocket awareness, great poise in the game, in the moment, being able to, convert, do all those things. I feel like he played a great game.
Obviously, your long run you're going to remember for a long time, but was there something else that you're really going to hold on to?
Really, I've just been grateful, just soaking in this moment. Not everybody could say that they put on, cleats, put on an NFL jersey, NFL helmet, and ran into, NFL stadium and, played, I'm able to say that. And I'm able to say that I did it with, my brothers out here.
You hit that hole, bounce left, and then you could see grass. What were you thinking when you saw the grass in front of you?
Score. I was thinking score. He ended up catching up to me. But, yeah, I was just thinking score.
How does this help for the next time you go out into an NFL stadium and compete?
Well, definitely gonna, tomorrow go back to the, to the cards and, look at the film. And that's where it all starts. See, what we did wrong as a running back room, and then also as a team what we did wrong and fix those.
Feel like you guys took a step offensively as a whole?
Oh, for sure, most definitely.
All right, so that is Raiders rookie running back Mike Washington Jr. following the Raiders 27-14 loss to the Arizona Cardinals. His final stat line on the evening: 6 carries, 63 yards. And I just thought it was really interesting when he says, we needed it. We needed that experience, that eye-opener. The open practice on Tuesday can only do so much, right? You get the understanding of where to go inside the stadium a little bit that first time. You're in there. Okay, that's cool. But now you're going against a different team, and man, what a wild moment that must have been for all those young guys. Again, how many times have we talked about, Clay, the newness of this team? Kubiak talked about just with his coaching staff, the logistics and things of that nature. Clint talked about how he felt like that all went off without a hitch in terms of the communication logistics from him and his coaching staff in terms of the game itself. But you just can't manufacture a game without doing a game. And Mike saying, we needed that, and we're going to be better for it the next time we go out. So that's why, and I don't want to look ahead too much because we still got a lot of work to do in unpacking what we saw Thursday night. But, looking ahead to Houston and even that joint practice and the game against the Texans, I'm sure coaches are going to expect a pretty big leap out of some of these young guys because, that newness is gone in terms of playing that first game. Now it's going to be a whole another set of a road game, of that environment and all that different things. But, okay, you experienced it. Let's go out and execute now what we're looking for.
Yeah, nothing beats it, getting that actual experience. And, even for somebody like Washington who was able to go and watch Mendoza work, and as well as kind of watching, how the offensive line was going to move with him. There was a time when the short yardage where it was the fourth one where Mendoza actually goes and signals Hayward to come over, the fullback, and he goes and does that lead block in order for them to attain that first down. Little stuff like that can't be, you can't really think that that's going to be figured out in practice alone. And that's why these games are so important. The meaningful reps that were given in this game for a lot of guys were significant. And I think for Washington's sake, I think we all got a chance to see what he's like. And perhaps as we've talked to people throughout camp, that maybe this is becoming more of a duo than we realized. Between what Genty and Washington are able to offer, working off each other. And maybe this could be something not too dissimilar, and it seems like eons ago of how Charlie Garner and Tyrone Wheatley would work off each other, and even Zach Crockett to a further extent of how good they are in down and distance, short yardage, and in the red zone. But this was a very good start of how that could look.
Well, Zane wants to know if we can call Washington Wild Mike Washington, and then the running back duo can be Deuces Wild.
Okay.
Wild Mike is phonetically pleasing to me, says Zane.
Zane.
Deuces Wild is good.
Zane, you're onto something. I think you're onto something here.
I like that.
All we got to do is get this into the hands of Horowitz, and it's off and running.
All right, 702-365-9200. We'll get your final thoughts here on the final sit-down, but first, Clay has a gift for you.
Oh, they got great concerts over at the Sahara Hotel and Casino, the resort that knows no bounds. In fact, there's a pool concert coming up Saturday, September 26th, with the X-Ambassadors, 21 and over. But we have 2 tickets here for you at the station. Be caller number 9, and they're yours. 702-365-9200. The X-Ambassadors at the Sahara, September 26th. More of your thoughts on the way as we get to the final sit-down coming up next on Raider Nation Radio 920.
Oh!
It is the final sit-down here on the Morning Tailgate, Raider Nation Radio 920. Big thanks to KTNV storyteller extraordinaire Alex Eschelman for joining us this morning, as well as all of you, Raider Nation. First-time callers, long-time callers, we appreciate each and every single one of you for your participation and passion in the conversation. It seems I'm not the only one whose creative juices are flowing these last couple days. Clay? Uncle Woodrow says, got a nickname for the duo. Boom and Zoom.
Oh, right.
Put that on a shirt and smoke it.
All right.
I like that. Seems like everyone was a big fan of seeing Jack Besh kind of pop in a big way. And, for all the talk of the Raiders wide receiver room, I think Malik Benson showed who he is, who we've been talking about. Couple catches for him, but Jack Besh kind of was I guess the eye-opener, if you will. But, Clay, as we're seeing this morning, the talking point is and will continue to be number 15, Fernando Mendoza. And you were pointing out even this morning on the Nationals, on ESPN, they're devoting multiple segments to the number 1 overall pick. Here's what ESPN's Steve Smith, former NFL wide receiver, had to say about the play in the preseason debut of Mendoza.
Right. I saw a young guy who obviously needs some work, but it was just simple, right? Simple in meaning he looked like a rookie. He also looked like the first overall pick, and he looked comfortable. He looked uncomfortable. It's called preseason football. I loved, we saw a guy that you go, oh, okay, this is old school. Let your young guy get out there, let him get comfortable, coach up his mistakes, look at the moments and go, hey, this is coachable, this is teachable. He put the ball in some spots where you love. He put the ball in some spots you go, ooh, but that's what you want from your quarterback. This is why preseason is important for young players.
That's Steve Smith on ESPN. I think that's a perfect way to describe it. There was good, there was bad. He did look comfortable. He did look uncomfortable, especially early on. Now, the throws, the good and the bad, like the one to Mike Washington, we all called it a hospital ball, like, ooh. Can't throw that one.
Yeah.
But as we just played you a few minutes ago, Mike goes, that one's on me. Like, I got to stay where I was. So, that's good, not great.
Good, not great.
I said it at the start.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And I feel like that's the overall feeling from Raider Nation. It wasn't this unbelievable performance. It also wasn't by any means a disappointment. I would not even I'm mad at myself for even bringing up the word. I thought it was a very good performance from Fernando for his first time out. The key is now we'll get to really see in real time, right? What Clint Kubiak talks about Fernando. He's not a repeat offender in terms of mistakes. Let's see if the mistakes he made in week 1 are corrected into week 2. He'll have a week to do that, to join practice with the Houston Texans as well.
Yeah, as Kubiak always praises his preparation and how much he over-prepares and makes sure that he doesn't miss anything. I'd love to see what this looks like in week 2 of the preseason and against Houston, to see what more can be had as he prepares and learns from mistakes.
Big teaching day ahead for the Raiders. Clint Kubiak set to meet with media here in a few minutes via Zoom. The Raiders are back at practice Saturday, Sunday, Monday before they leave for Houston. Make sure you stay with the flagship for the Silver and Black. JT the Brick from 12 to 2. Unnecessary Roughness with Hugh Myers from 2 to 5 today. Have a great day, everybody. An even better weekend. We will be back here on the Morning Tailgate on Monday. It's Raider Nation Radio 920.